And without further ado, AJ Minter, Braves reliever, joining us now in studio. Appreciate seeing you.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. And you're doing some work with Mortgage Investors Group. Wanted to get that out of the way. Let the people know the next time you're in need of a home loan, Mortgage Investors Group going to help you hit a home run. You see what I did there? The baseball analogy. MIGonline.com is the place to go. So Dimino says you guys in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. He's pushing the panic button, but you're telling people there's no time to panic. Actually, he never said that.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You might as well create a little bit of something.
You know
in the
what social media is like, right? Well, the sky's falling.
You don't got to tell me that, yeah. I see it every day.
Yeah, but you've been down this road before, and it's one of those deals where you right the ship. It's baseball. These things happen.
Yep. I mean, even if you look back, the past 4 years, every single year, I feel like we're always the underdogs. We're never favored to win, and I feel like this is just kind of the same territory. We're used to being in this situation, and you can never count us out. We're that team that's always going to fight till the end, and hopefully it's going to be a close stretch down the end, but we're excited.
I know everybody gets – nobody drives to the ballpark thinking it's going to be a loss. Even the teams that aren't very good.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, even if you have to flip a switch and pretend. I'm not asking if you were surprised at what eventually happened last year, but was there a moment where, because this year the meeting that Snick called, we're better than this, so let's be better than this. Was there a moment last year when you go, oh, no, we are this good. We just haven't played it.
Yeah. Every year there's always that excitement because, man, we have such a good ball team. We have good talent, and every year's different. But I would say last year, obviously, we brought in the new guys from the trade deadline. We were excited about it. Because we were at 500 at the All-Star break.
Did you think it was going to be a sell as opposed to a buy?
I believe we played Miami right before the All-Star break. And I felt like if we lost that series, we were going to be sellers.
Okay.
And if we won that series, we were going to be buyers. And sure enough, we did win that series. And from then on, it just kind of took off from there.
So can you be an underdog when you're the defending world champions? Is there still that feeling that you guys think that people sort of look at you as just a little bit over here?
Oh, for sure. Whether that's we're definitely – I don't think we're obviously the favorites to win. But with that being said – how can you count us out? We are the defending World Series champions. We have just as much talent that we brought back from last year, if not more, and we have that experience. So there's no reason why you can't count us out.
AJ Minter is here in studio with us, and certainly I think that's something that probably drives the team, and maybe every organization as well. You want to be the underdog. You want to be underappreciated.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, there's that I guess the added pressure that gets added to it, but this has probably been the funnest year for me personally.
Why that's interesting.
Obviously coming off last year, nothing can really beat that. It was almost weight just kind of lifted off your shoulders. There was so much. I will say there was pressure to win the World Series, especially here in Atlanta, and the fact that we got it done, it was just like, man, that was the best moment of life. And now it's time to, especially for this year for me, it was just to enjoy this ride, because I reached the highest pinnacle that you can in baseball as a team. And now this year it's like, man, because looking back for me last year, I got sent down in AAA. And now I just kind of learned you can never get too high in baseball. You can never get too low. And you have to enjoy the ride. And
162 is a long time.
It is.
6 months is a long time.
I know it. And there's ups and downs, just like with every season, with every player.
When you're a young pitcher, though, you go back to the bullpen, because you sort of had that bullpen starter guy in college. Now I'm back in the bullpen. Did you realize that it is a marathon? Because if I get too amped on a given night, if I go home too pissed off on a given night, or down on myself, then it's not the way to go through 6 months of this thing.
Oh, it's impossible. It's a recipe for a disaster, and you're going to fail at this game. And it's all about, because same thing with hitters, same thing with pitchers. You're going to go through droughts. You're going to go through, slumps. And it's a matter of, I feel like the Hall of Famers, the great players in the world, they go through slumps, but they know how to get out of it quicker than other players do. And it's all about, whenever you are in that slump, it's just about going back to the basics, not overthinking it, being confident, and just know that it's all going to come out in the end.
Talk about last year, and obviously it ends in a World Series title. AJ Minter here in studio with us. You get sent down, and then You get called back up. Next thing you know, Charlie Morton breaks his leg in Game 1 of the World Series, and you're out there pitching. I mean, you've gone through a lot of adversity, and I would imagine all the adversity that you went through prepares you for that moment.
I don't know if any of that can prepare you for that moment, but it was just, it happened so quickly. I tell people all the time, I didn't really have time to think about it. I didn't have time to get nervous. Obviously Charlie went down and they called down the bullpen and said, you're in the game. So it kind of, looking back, I feel like it did kind of help me a little bit. And I mean, I just wanted to come in there. I knew I had to cover, multiple innings just to kind of help this bullpen out, get to, Luke Jackson, Tyler Matzik, just be that bridge guy. So I just want to come in there and just be efficient. I mean, I think it was 5-0 at the time I came in. So I had obviously some room to work with and just want to go out there and be efficient.
I've talked about heart rate. There's a lot of numbers and there's a lot of analytics in baseball, but I've joked for years. I said, put a band around there and let me find out who wants to be in there, who wants it hit to them in the 8th inning, who wants the at-bat, who wants to come off the mound. How much can you actually work on that as you become a veteran player, where I can take it down to the level where, while it's not normal, the World Series coming in like that is not normal, I've got to make it normal physically and then mentally and make sure I can do my job.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing that I've learned is, as cliche as it sounds, you have to breathe. You have to take a deep breath and just let it out slowly. So if you see me watch me pitch on the mound, right before I come set, I will literally take a big breath and then look at home and get my sign. And because no matter the situation, you're going to have adrenaline when you're coming into the game. There's no fighting that. You want that adrenaline. So it's all about controlling that adrenaline and filtering it in a way that it doesn't spike your heart rate and makes you out of breath, and it speeds up the game. You want to slow the game down.
When you have a night like you had in St. Louis on Sunday, you're a veteran guy. Do you want the ball the next day? I would imagine that's your feeling. Give me the ball again. I got to get this behind me.
For sure. Obviously, anytime that you come in a game and, you lose the game for your team, especially when we've battled back the way we did. And that was a big series. But looking back, I mean, we could have not easily, but we could have swept that series. And obviously the Cardinals are a great ball team. They're going to be in the postseason. But man, we played good baseball, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And that's baseball, and unfortunately it does happen. But yeah, I want to get in there the very next day. Just kind of get that bad taste out of your mouth and just keep going.
So what happens when you have an actual off day the next day? So what's the well, that's not going to happen because it's not possible it's going to happen. So what do you do? I know that you were at Austin Riley's event, which, by the way, congratulations to you and all the teammates who showed up to show support. And I know that was put together pretty quickly, and it's almost September, and nights off are really not going to be happening very often. So congratulations to you and your teammates for doing that. But when you have an off day, how do you actually get I have to enjoy the day and get ready because Tuesday we start all over again?
Yeah, for me, it's whenever I have a bad outing, I especially when I come home that night, I like to just go back and watch it, obviously.
You do?
I do. And I like to just think, okay, what could I have done differently? And what did I learn? And if there's nothing that I would have done differently, then you have to just kind of tip your hat sometimes.
Are you talking about pitch selection more than anything else, or location too?
It could be anything, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it literally can be anything. And there's days where you have to try to find something that you could have done better, because if you keep going about and say, well, I done everything possible. Well, no, there's something you could have done better each night.
I'm going to be honest. I wasn't really drunk during the postseason because I was kind of working, but I might have drank a couple of nights, so it's a little bit blurry. Did you make your major league starting debut in the NLCS?
That was the first game that I started.
Yeah. But so what's the night before like? Because that's a really different situation. That's
now that's 2020.
Yeah. 20.
Not last
Excuse
year.
me.
Yeah.
20. I was drunk during 20. There's a pandemic going on. I drank a lot. I will readily admit that. 20. I apologize to you. But that's really different when you go to bed knowing that you're going to have the baseball in your hand.
Well, thankfully, Snit called me the morning of. He didn't tell me the night before. And I got a phone call at 10:30 in the morning from Snit. And I was like, oh, this is really good or really bad. But sure enough, he called me and said, hey, we're gonna let you start today. If you can go one inning, great. And if you can go back out for the second, that's great. But we're just gonna take it one inning at a time, and just kind of let you be the opener So looking back, yeah, I'm glad he didn't tell me the night before because I probably wouldn't have got good sleep.
The logic paid off. 3 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, also a record for a guy making his first start in the postseason.
There you go. You're a record holder. Alex
and a
Anthopoulos,
world champion.
Alex Anthopoulos was speaking at something the other day, and he talked about how the mindset in the postseason changes. We look to cover outs. So you don't think that way during the regular season. But look to cover outs. If this guy gives me 5, 15 outs, I got enough to cover the next 12. Is that something that's spoken to out loud as to approach during postseason games?
Oh, we know everything that it's in the playbook. Everything it's out. It's literally anything can happen. So if you're the 7th, 8th inning guy, you can be thrown in the game in the 5th inning. You have to be ready at any point in the game. You have to be ready to cover 2 innings. We're just all hands on deck at that point.
But the best case scenario is he was saying that we have, because bullpen's fresh, we just had an off day. If I get 5, 15 outs, we have the way to cover the next 12. It was really interesting. He had said that's not a regular season thing. You can't think like that.
No.
But you try to have a scenario set up where we have coverage tonight. We're good.
Yeah.
I might need an extra inning from this guy. You got to get 18 outs,
right,
not 15. It was just really interesting to hear him talk about it like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's why you gotta love postseason baseball. I mean, it is the best time of the year. It's exciting. I'm just addicted to get back into the postseason. I'm just playing last year. It fueled me just to get back in there, and that's why you play the game.
Can you explain what your mindset is? What's going through your head when Dansby gets the ball, throws to Freddie for that final out, and you realize you're a world champion?
Obviously, the game was 7-0, but it felt like we are not giving in till the very last out is made. It felt like a 1-0 ball game to me, especially. Just I was out in the bullpen, and we were just locked in the whole entire time, and we were not going to give up until that very last out. But obviously, when the ball got hit, Dansby made a good throw, and all the guys in the bullpen, we just all hugged each other. We didn't run out on the field. Everyone in the bullpen just kind of took a moment and just loved each other, hugged each other. And
is it surreal at that moment? Do you realize you're a world champion, or does it hit you later?
For me, it definitely kind of hit me later. That night, it was just you've never been in this situation before. You don't know how to process it. But it was just so much fun.
Yeah, guys have told me that I went in for the hug. He wasn't ready for the hug. I went up top. That guy didn't bring his hand up top. It's like nobody knows really, literally what to do for a couple of seconds. How is this celebration supposed to start? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. The kind of crazy thing, too, about you've been around long enough now where T-shirts were a thing. Suffer in silence, the night shift. Like there's things that happen. Michael Harris, all of a sudden I see the Money Mike shirt on Strider at a postgame. Can you just explain who leads the charge on some of that stuff? How does that stuff actually happen where you go, oh, we're this group, we'll get this T-shirt, or everybody will have something? The public doesn't see it very often.
Yeah.
It's just what you guys do. How does that actually get started in a clubhouse?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of brought on by the fans in a way. I mean, the fans have an impact on, kind of what brand each player is kind of given. But I feel like you said, the T-shirts, I mean, there's a T-shirt company that basically will just send us T-shirts without even knowing. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really kind of brought on by any player. Like, we're obviously not going to be the guy that shows up with my face on T-shirts.
Dig me. Yeah, dig me is not really a thing.
Yeah.
But like you have a Mona Lisa shirt on. We're on TV someplace. I don't even know how it works.
On YouTube.
If that had a mustache on it, like it's even funnier.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if anybody is doing crap like that, but I do know that there's a really good sense of humor in most clubhouses.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's evidenced by what's on a few guys wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah, we love to, kind of wear each other's T-shirts and help that person out and just promote that player for sure. We're a family down there, and I say it all the time, but I think what separates us from other teams is our camaraderie. It's the clubhouse. It's everything that goes on that people don't really see. But yeah, we love to have a good time. We love kind of picking at each other and giving each other a hard time.
And the bullpen's its own separate entity.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
it always has to be.
Some strange bullpen. I mean,
well, history has shown.
Oh my God!
Sometimes it's just a little bit different. AJ Minter finishing up with him, kind enough to be joining us here in studio. You talked about the camaraderie, and we talked about the fact, we talked with you off the air moments ago about it, but we were at the Austin Riley charity function the other day. Off day, everybody shows up there, and I guess it just goes into what type of camaraderie is indeed in this clubhouse and how the team does feel about one another.
For sure. It was, like you said, we had an off day where we come off a tough, road series. And
got in late.
Yeah, got in late at 3:30 in the morning. And Austin Riley had a fundraiser the very next day at Topgolf. And, of course, Austin, I mean, he's one of the best teammates, one of the best guys that I know, much deserving of everything, all the success that he has gotten. And we just wanted to go and support, his cause. It was a great event. I mean, like you said, we had a lot of guys come out, a lot of teammates, coaching staffs even came out. And it was a great turnout by the public as well. So it was just a great, fun event. And that's what, we play every single day almost. And you need days where you can just kind of get away from baseball and just get away from just the stress and just go out there and just hit some golf balls and, drink beer and just hang out with your friends. I mean, it's special.
A couple of quick things. You played in the Cape Cod League. I'm always fascinated. How much did that help you?
So actually,
get noticed or whatever, draft status.
Yeah.
How much did it help?
So actually, I went up to Cape Cod and I was only there for a few weeks, and I got invited to go try out for Team USA, and I ended up making Team USA. So I was only in Cape Cod just for a few weeks playing.
Who gave you the invite?
For Team USA?
For the Cape Cod, because that's pretty exclusive to begin with.
Yeah.
That's a whittle down in college.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you that. I wouldn't know.
Because did you know a lot about it? Like what kind of level of competition?
Oh, for sure.
They're
Yeah,
playing up there.
That's the dream. That's the goal, is to play in the Cape Cod League.
Yeah,
So
and then
you
when
get drafted.
Jimbo Fisher shows up in a cowboy boots and big belt, and you go, "Is he a drugstore cowboy? What's happening?"
For those that don't know, AJ Minter is a Texas A&M Aggie.
Yeah, are you upset when people play drugstore cowboy and all of a sudden they got a hat on and a big bump, and you go, "Oh, who's this guy? What's he trying to pull off here?"
We're turning them over to the good side. That's all it is.
Is that what it is?
We're brainwashing you, and we're gonna make you an Aggie.
But do you get upset if somebody actually plays drugstore cowboy, where all of a sudden now it doesn't matter? He just needs to win games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, us at A&M, we want to win, and we expect to win, and we're going to do everything we can to possibly get a national.
There's a lot of money at that school.
Oh, for sure.
A lot of money at that school.
Definitely.
There's some deep ass pockets at that school.
Well, Jimbo's collecting a lot of it, so you better start winning.
What's acceptable this year, if there is such a thing?
First of all, beat Bama and go to the national championship and win. That's the thing.
Don't beat Bama and lose 4 games.
Oh, if we're exactly,
Yeah.
but we're beating Bama this year. You can go ahead and put that down on the books.
And Minter has spoken, so it shall be done. AJ, thanks for coming in. Best of luck. Hopefully the winning streak begins anew tonight against the Rockies, and we'll talk down the road. Thanks for coming in again.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it.